Hi, good morning. Thanks for joining us on Realty Check. I'm your host, Trish Williams. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are watching our show, please share it with your friends. Take a minute to write us a review, and you can also download us on iTunes. Today, I have a guest with us, Claudia Marion of Keller Williams Realty. I know where you're at because I'm there too. Of Keller Williams Realty. And we're going to talk about housing, what's going on in the housing market. Claudia is a realtor. She's been in real estate. Well, Claudia, go ahead. Tell our guest about you.
So I've been in real estate here in Vegas almost 30 years. Grew up out here in Las Vegas, and that's all I really know. Just real estate.
So you know Vegas, right? Another
Yes.
Local, born and raised here.
Almost born and raised.
Almost born and raised.
Almost born and
Okay,
raised.
so you grew up here.
But I did grow up here.
Yeah. Okay, good. I grew up here too, so that's why we have a lot in common. Last year, 2020, obviously was a very busy year for housing, real estate. It's done, it did really well. Inventory stayed low. Our market stayed stable in the midst of everything. Mm-hmm. What are you seeing so far in 2021?
So 2021, I'm seeing a little bit of people's uncertainty of what's going on with the market. Should they sell? Should they go? Where are they going to go next? But we have a lot of tenants that are also looking to jump into that low interest rate and be able to buy a home and be able to be a homeowner.
Right. Because tenants, I feel like tenants, last year when we had the word
Moratorium.
I can't even say the word. No. Yes, that word. When we had that going on, tenants, they weren't thrown out into the streets during the pandemic situation, but landlords realized that someone can make them not be able to collect rent, and it can be enforced. So once that was lifted, a lot of landlords started serving notice to their tenants and decided they didn't want to have these investment properties anymore.
I agree. And that's kind of the hard part about it too, is because you want to be able to have the tenants, pay the rent and stuff. And then when the moratorium came, the tenants weren't able to, pay the rent, or they weren't able to do that. And we didn't have to worry about them being kicked out or anything like that, kind of like the first, mortgage crisis we had.
Right, absolutely. And I feel like the interest rates, the way that they are right now so low, a lot of tenants are being able to purchase homes for lower than their rent was. And
Exactly.
Our rental market is insane. It's been insane for years, but the prices are rising. Rents are higher than they have been in a while, and tenants are, seeing that it is a good time to buy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what do you feel like you talked a little bit about fears that people are having when they're talking about like buying, being able to sell their homes. What do you think are those biggest fears, or where they're coming from?
I think a lot of with what's going on with my clients right now is the fear of where to go next. Are they going to be able to have a house once they sell this one? Are they able to? And I think this is a different time than when we had the first, recession or whatever we had. Mm-hmm. Because at that point, I felt that people were just kind of jumping ship. The house wasn't what it was worth. Let's just jump. Let's just go. Mm-hmm. Then they came to figure out, okay, well, now where do we live? And I think this time around, it's not a mortgage crisis to where it was because of the mortgage, the banks and everything. It was more, this time it's more, COVID and what's going on with our health. So I think people aren't jumping. People are sitting back and seeing what's going to happen. So I don't know about you, but I've had clients that haven't made a mortgage payment since March because they haven't had a job. A lot of hotel industry people, people that work at the hotels, and they're staying put. And I think previously, before, they would have been like, oh, I don't want to be here. The house is going to go to half of what it's worth. But people now are just kind of staying put and seeing what's happening next.
Waiting and seeing what happens. And some of the banks have, I feel like a better scenario than others do for that. Some of them are putting the payments that they're missing on the back of their loan, so that there's not a big lump sum payment due all at once. I think the mortgages that have that big lump sum payment that's due at the end of this is that they're going to see homeowners with those mortgages that are in trouble, in crisis. And I have had a couple homeowners that decided that they need to sell because of this, because they're, they know they're going to end up behind. They still have equity in their home, and they need to sell and get move on.
I agree. And especially with that, they are needing to sell because, like you said, they still don't have a job. They don't have the ability to, when are they going to get their job back? When are the hotels going to open back up? When are the restaurants going to open back up to full capacity? Concerts, shows, all that kind of stuff that Vegas is known for. When's that going to happen? And so a lot of the clientele is, a lot of them are trying to figure out what's going to happen next. And I think that's what their concerns are as well, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the convention industry, people that are working in conventions and all of the things for the shows, that's such a big part of our community. And that industry is going to take a while to come back. While some of the restaurants are opening up, some of the casinos are opening up slowly. They're not quite as busy or as staffed as they were before. The conventions, I feel, are going to be the last thing to come back around. And is it? That's one of the concerns that I have. Is CES ever going to be in Vegas again? Now that they're doing it virtual, are they going to really want a live convention again? Or things like that going to happen? So that is a fear for people to see what's going to happen in the coming months. The good news is the vaccine's been showing, promising results of people thinking that, feeling more comfortable being out and going out in public and opening back up, showing good. It's very promising that we're going to be able to open up soon in the coming months. So what other things do you think are coming in the housing market? Do you feel like over 2021 we're going to have a really strong market?
I think so. If we continue with the interest rates the way we are going to have a strong market. I also do feel that we will have more inventory coming up too when the banks are deciding on what's going to happen. Are they going to allow people to still not make a payment? Some haven't been making a payment since March. So are they going to continue to do that? Are they going to continue to have forbearances put on the back of loans? We don't know yet. But I think you're right, absolutely right. Some of my clients, I don't know if your clients as well, have decided to, leave Vegas, move and go on somewhere where they're closer to family or have the ability to do that. So I think we're going to get more inventory as it starts getting to be hitting spring, and usually our spring season and our summer seasons are the busiest, so we'll see.
Yeah. No, we are already, I feel like spring's coming early this year. It's already gotten pretty crazy busy out there. We're still getting a lot of people moving in from other states. I've spoken about this on previous shows, is that people are working virtual now, and some of their jobs are staying virtual so they can work remotely and live wherever they want to live. And Vegas is still, promising a very affordable place to live. Even though prices are a lot higher now, it's still a very affordable place to live. So that's something that we're still getting a lot of. I'm still getting a lot of relocation buyers. I think that there's a lot of people that are moving in with their, like you said, with their family. So I've had a few sellers, a good handful of them, that were living here in Vegas and decided to move to wherever their kids are. They have, adult children, and they decided they want to live with them because traveling's not so easy these days and not so comfortable. Not so safe. So they're deciding they don't want to commute. They want to be with their kids. They want to be with their grandkids. They want to be closer to wherever their family's at. So we're still having a lot of people moving around and things going on, activity in the market. Real estate's a great thing to be in these days.
Yeah, that's definitely. And that's one of the things, too, as I'm seeing, is the handful of transactions that we have with buyers right now. They are relocating from somewhere else. And you're right. It's because they don't have to be there. We've got one coming in from New York. It's too expensive to live down there, and they don't have to be there. They can work remotely from here, and they're like, I'm going back to Vegas. It's got the greatest weather. We don't have to worry about anything like those blizzards or, any of that kind of stuff, which we did have snow though, which is kind of crazy.
I know,
Some parts
like-
of the valley had snow.
People are posting photos of snow all over the place. It was insane. And the mountains right now, everything surrounding us is all white right now. It's not common for Vegas. So
Exactly.
it's nice to see it though, because we went like 9 months without rain. How long did we
They said
go?
a year,
Forever?
Yeah, a year without rain.
Yeah, so it was definitely needed. And yeah, it's I don't know how people survive in places like New York where it snows all the time and it's cold all the time. I'm totally a Vegas girl. I would never be able to live like that. So
Sorry, people.
sorry, yeah, I would not be out. Yeah, that wouldn't work for me. So definitely Vegas is a fun place to live. You can definitely spend a lot of time outdoors here because it's nice. The climate's always good here.
And that's what I'm seeing too from the clients that are moving in. They want those doors that open up the outside in because they don't get that where they're from. So, you go some of them are like, oh, we want the walls that open up with a glass door.
Oh,
Do you guys
yeah.
have that? Because now that we're moving to Vegas, we want to be outside, but we want to be able to have that. So I'm kind of seeing that as a lot of people coming from other parts of the country. That's what they want. They want that outside coming in, and that's like one of their pluses, which I didn't have that a couple of years ago to where people wanted that. Now that's like their biggest thing.
Outdoor space is huge. Outdoor space is a big thing right now, and because people are at home, they're spending a lot more time outdoors, so that outdoor space is more important to them than it was before. Also, I feel like a lot of people that are coming in from New York, or other states, but New York, for example, are coming from condo living or multi-family, or I guess it would be called multi-family, high-rise, close quarter living, and they're coming out here for that space, for their own personal space, their own personal yard, to have their own, their own home. It feels more like a home when you have your backyard and everything. Even though high-rise living is, definitely more the style that some people prefer to live. And Vegas has great options for that too, overlooking the Strip.
Yeah, but they've got the doors and the balconies as well too sometimes. So
oh yeah,
that's always a good
absolutely.
thing. Bring the outdoors in.
Bring the outdoors in. Yeah. Are you seeing challenges with the inventory, the way that the inventory's been so low lately?
I have been. So the challenges are you've got multiple offers within the first day of going out. So I've got clients that have to work until 6 o'clock and it's too dark to go out and look. So with that, they find houses that go on the market during the week, and then by Saturday when they want to go out and look, almost all of them are gone, so we have one or two to look at. So it's tough. The inventory is tough, but we've been in the business long enough to where we've got some little things that we have, little tricks and we can pull and make sure our clients do get that house that they want. So obviously they don't always get the one that they want, but I always let them know, pick your top 3 because we're going to make sure that we have something else in case we don't get this one here.
Right. Yeah, because the houses are moving quick. They're going under contract quick. I have, I have a listing just yesterday that had like a line outside the door for showing. So that's actually happening. It's very, there's a lot of activity, especially in those beginning price points.
I agree.
For first-time home buyers, those price ranges are definitely moving a lot quicker than everything else.
If it's priced right, that's the thing. If it's priced right, it's going to move.
Yes.
Because I've got a client right now, we're in the 800 price point, and even those are moving quite fast as well, too, in the area that they want to be in. So, but they're all priced right. They're not overpriced, they're priced right, and they're bringing in, and the agents know they're bringing in the activity. So that's the one thing, too. They're going.
Absolutely. And again, it boils down to pricing. Is the house priced right? Are you allowing access? Because having a home for sale, it's very difficult to show, especially in this market when the realtors are busy, their clients are busy. Not having easy access to homes is creating obstacles, and there's, it's a rush to find the right home. So that can be a challenge. And location. Location is still a very big factor.
It's huge. And I don't know about you, but my clients that are relocating here, they already know where they want to go.
Yeah. Oh, no, always. Yeah. I'm like, is there like brochures going out in other states of neighborhoods? Because they
think
call
so.
and they say, I want to live here, here, not here. And I'm like, where do you guys all learn this stuff from?
Somewhere. They
Somewhere.
Google, where to live in Vegas.
Oh,
I don't know.
Google. Yeah, absolutely Google. So yeah, it's always the same. Feels like the same request every time.
Every
Once
time.
in a while, I'll get a different one. I'm like, oh, okay.
Same one.
Yeah. So that's great. And the people that are doing, like now with remote working and with the online school and the kids attending school online, I'm hoping that's not forever.
Probably not either. They need to get back to school.
I know, it feels so sad for the kids. I understand the importance and the reason why this is happening, but
I do too.
oh, for kids, socialization, I can't imagine being that age in any school age, K through
It's
12.
everything. Or even college. I have a son in college, and I will be devastated if he can't walk or be there to see him graduate. So, I mean, it's a big deal, and to not be there, it's going to be tough. So, hopefully they open back up. So, I think just any school. I mean, even if I went back to college, it would be a big deal.
Oh yeah.
To have to walk and have the whole process. So, I'm hoping they can get up and open here soon.
Yeah, me too. Now, are you seeing anything? I know before COVID and before the pandemic hit, that one of the big things that was always, like almost always, whenever you're talking to a buyer with children, school zones. I want to be in this school zone. I need to be in this school zone. We need to be, this location. That's the only thing. How are the schools? And they're checking out the, great schools online and all of those things. I'm not hearing that much anymore. And I don't know, I feel like that's still important because we're hoping schools will open back up soon, but it's not like the front and foremost on people's minds right now because they're not thinking about that. Is that something that you're seeing?
I am seeing that, especially people that don't know that we only have one school zone. A lot of people want to be in certain, because it's only Clark County. So other parts of the country, so we want to be in a good school zone. Well, we only have one here, and it's a big school zone.
It's a big school zone, and we're not rated the best. We're just not.
So they want to be in the best one, but you're right. I think people are now, because of what's going on in the pandemic, they're wanting space for the kids to be able to do homework. They want space to where they have the ability to work from home as well too. And again, like you said, have somewhere to play, because if they are stuck inside, especially the kids, they have nowhere to go. And so they definitely are looking for that instead of school. But you're right. Before it was like, we want to be in this school, or if we move, we have to stay in the school zone. And now that's not even the case anymore.
Yeah.
It's more practicality instead of what it's, I guess the schools and stuff.
What school zone we're going to be in. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's changed a little bit. And back with space, the parks are even closed, or if basketball. My son likes basketball, so a lot of the parks remove the basketball hoops. So things like that, kids, if you have children, they have to have something to do, and people are looking for that in a home now.
Exactly. Yeah. That stuff that they can have for the kids. I completely agree.
Yeah. And what advice would you, if you were to give advice to sellers right now in this market? Inventory's low. They're, getting their home prepared on the market. But again, things are different even with sellers. Preparing their home and getting their home ready for the market because of the pandemic and the things that you have to do to make it to where buyers feel comfortable looking in the home. Things like that have changed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think too with sellers is we're having a little bit of change with them as well too, because we want them to have their lights on, we want them to have the blinds open, which a lot of times we ask them to, but they don't want to.
Yes.
But we're also having that so there's not that exposure where people are touching the lights, which isn't, people are opening the blinds and all that. We're asking them to have that stuff already ready, and I know a lot of the sellers don't want to do that. They don't want to keep the lights on all day long, but it's a lot less exposure too. I'm seeing a lot more sellers are asking the buyers to take off their shoes or wear shoe covers. That's something that I haven't really seen in all the years of selling. Every now and then you get it.
You get it on, I just had new carpet, I want you to wear shoe covers, but now it's more for protective reasons.
It's almost because you're not tracking those germs. And I've always been one, you don't wear shoes in the house. So usually I would always feel uncomfortable walking in someone's house with shoes. Now I definitely ask, or we've been asked to remove our shoes. So things have changed. But for sellers, I would say pricing it properly. I understand, you get sellers that say, well, it's a seller's market, so I want to try at this point. But it's not. If you price it properly, you're going to get multiple offers. And at that point, sometimes that will drive your price up, pricing it properly instead of pricing it, okay, so it's worth, this amount, but I want to price it for $25,000 because it's a seller's market. Not true. I don't know.
Yes.
You get it to where they don't get any showings because they are overpriced. So
Absolutely. And it is so, I have such a hard time with sellers that listen to like people that don't know much about real estate. So taking advice from your neighbors or your friends, or even, I hate to say it, but the news, even the news is very, they're almost a month behind on their reporting of what's happening in the real estate market, and they'll tell you what was going on last month because they have the data that releases every month. But things change, and we're active in the in the market, and we're out there every day, so we see the changes before really they get reported. I think.
I agree. And one thing I always like to remind sellers as well too. I don't know if you remind them. I always remind them. Of course, I'd love to list it for higher. I get paid more because we're paid on a percentage.
Right.
So if I got paid more, obviously it would be beneficial for me to list it higher. But I always like to remind them, I'm going to list it to where it's going to sell and make sure we get the activity that you want. That's what everybody wants, is they want activity and they want the home to be sold. And most of our clients don't want to show it 50 times in the weekend.
Right. And going back to that, having a home that's overpriced, if it's on the market for a while and you're not selling, do you really end up getting the price that you want that's overpriced? No, you end up with lowball offers. That's what the results are.
Well, because people see, oh, well, what's wrong with it? Why is it been sitting on the market so long? When their neighbor sold in, 2 days or 4 days or whatnot, and now this one's been sitting on the market for 30, 40 days, people think there's something wrong with the property. But
they think there's something wrong with it, and even if they go and see it and they see that there's nothing wrong with it, they're like, oh, it's been 70 days on the market. I'm going to send a lower offer.
Exactly. They must be wanting to get out of it. So
Yeah.
I get it. I completely get it. So things have changed in that with the sellers is, they hear it's a seller's market and they want to, price it as high as they possibly can. So it's a difference right now with sellers.
Yeah, most definitely. Do you feel like buyers have gotten more picky with so many homes are remodeled, and so many homes are very turnkey. It's flips, but there's a lot of homes that are very turnkey that are on the market. Even though we have low inventory, I feel like the buyer's standards just over the past 2 years have raised so much.
I agree. So they want those upgrades. They don't want carpet anymore, guys.
Oh gosh, they
don't
hate
want carpet anymore.
They hate carpet.
Even in any price point, they want laminate flooring or the wood tile look throughout all of the traffic areas because it is hard. And again, here we go with COVID as well too. You have the ability to, keep it a little cleaner, don't wear your shoes in the house, all that. So they want that. They always want an upgraded kitchen. That's huge for them to have the upgraded kitchen and bathrooms. Bathrooms are huge right now.
Yeah.
Master bathrooms. So those are the things that I'm kind of seeing is you're right. They are getting pickier and the wait for their home to come up if it's got those items in it.
Yeah, most definitely. And I've seen homes that are, I feel like not even in bad condition, that just are, dated, and the buyers are like, oh no, there's everything that has to be done. They're just really wanting more turnkey homes.
They are.
Yeah. And cleanliness, of course, more than ever. If there's anything, there's dust on the baseboards, and they're like, oh, that's just going to need too much work.
And I tell sellers that too, because I don't know if you get it. I get people, they'll walk in, if they see dirty grout on the floor, they're done. I've had some people just turn around and be like, nope, the grout's dirty, I don't want it.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds weird to have these little, but that's what buyers want. They, like you said, they want to come in, they want to see it impeccable, and they want to see upgrades.
Yeah. I tell people that too. They think, oh, well, all they'd have to do is this, and this, or, paint colors are, a few years ago, the paint schemes were dark, vivid, bright colors, and now it's very neutral, very, the grays and whites and
blues, light blues.
Light blues now. Yeah, the light blues are coming in. And yeah, they want that open, sunny, bright look.
Well, and I think that's changed as well too with the sellers is when you look at houses before, everybody had the same color palettes, everyone. And now you walk into houses and people have so many different color palettes now. People like that to where they have choices. Like you said before, it was like everything was that tan and that yellow and, all of those colors, like maybe like that Tuscany kind of colors. And now everybody wants those bright and open colors. But you still see different things. Like I see now navy blue cabinets and I see gray cabinets and I see white cabinets and I see oak cabinets. So you see all different kinds of things, and then the floorings are all different as well too. So I think we're having more variety when it comes to that, but you're right, just have the upgrades. That's what people want.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of them aren't costly. So if you are trying to do some renovations to make your home very turnkey or market ready, that's always hiring a good realtor to come and walk through the home with you to show you what you can do for minimal expenses to make it look better. I'm going to tell you guys all one of my tricks right now. It's one of my favorite tricks ever is just put a fresh coat of paint on the baseboard. Yeah. It does wonders.
It does.
It does wonders. Like it will just freshen up and make the wall look good, make everything look clean, fresh bead of caulking, fresh coat of paint, and simple things. There are simple things that you can do to get your home ready to be able to appeal to buyers more. Pets. Pets is always a big thing. You want to make sure that there's no pets in the home, during showings, and make sure to, have everything aired out really nice. It's how we live in our homes and how we show our homes are two different things.
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. And especially taking the pets out. That's one of the things I know some sellers have, they don't want to be gone out of their home. It's a benefit for sellers to be out of their home. I mean, because what happens is, I don't know if you've seen it before, buyers and buyers agents will ask for motivation. And what happens with that is sometimes your buyers end up spilling stuff that maybe they shouldn't have. And, not to sit there and say that they can't tell the truth, but then, I've had it to where some of my sellers like, where are you going? Did you already buy another house? And now the sellers got motivation of, oh, well, now we know what's going on with the seller. So I'd rather the sellers be out of the home with the pets, with the, the kids and everything, and just let the home be shown. And also the buyer can say whatever they need to say.
They can say what they need to say. How many times have you been in a home with a buyer and the sellers there like walking through or showing them the home and they feel uncomfortable? They want to rush through. They want to be courteous. We all want to be polite and friendly, even when we're home shopping. So we want to be courteous, and you don't feel as comfortable when you see the person's home, that owns the home that's there walking you through. So it gives the buyers a little bit of not wanting to open every door or intake everything in the home.
I agree. So we're comfortable going into houses. I don't know if you remember the first time you walked into a house with a lockbox and the house is vacant and someone lived there. You were kind of, oh my gosh, I can walk through people's house and they're not home. I mean, it's an odd feeling at first. Now you and I, we've shown enough houses to where we're comfortable going in, showing the house. Buyers feel the same way too. If someone's there, they don't feel comfortable, and you're right. Sometimes they just want to get up and go, okay, I'm not comfortable. I just want to go.
Yeah.
And they don't look at the house truly because they're so uncomfortable with it. They just want to go.
Yeah.
So you're right. Sellers, it's not fun to have them
step out. Yeah.
Exactly.
They really need to step out. When your realtor's telling you that, they're giving you very, very good advice. And also, if the buyer if they're in a room that has, pink walls, say, and they're like, this isn't going to work for me, they're not going to feel comfortable enough to say that to their realtor, so they're not going to say anything. But if they're in the room with just their realtor and the seller's not there, nobody else is present, and they say to their realtor because they feel comfortable with them, these pink walls aren't going to work for me, the realtor's going to tell them, what can be done. They'll look at it. They'll help work through that problem. If it's an easy, paint, you and I know paint's an easy fix. So they can let them know that. And it sounds so simple, but there are so many people that don't really realize that. So you have to be able to show them, hey, don't worry about that. That can be taken care
An
of.
easy fix.
Yeah, but they're not going to be able to stand there to visualize it, to see it, to feel comfortable even talking about it with the seller right there and talking about it afterwards. After they leave the house, they say, oh, that pink room was really, concerning to me, or the walls, maybe the texture on the walls or something. And without being there to talk through it and see the difference, they're not going to be able to get past that.
I agree.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that.
So that's huge. So definitely big thing for sellers, and even more so today. Make sure you leave when your home's being shown.
I agree.
And that will give your house a better chance of selling quicker.
Exactly.
Yep. Well, Claudia, it's been great having you here today.
Thank you.
Any final words that you have for anything you wanted to?
I don't think so. Just definitely hire someone that knows the market. It's going to save you in the long run. And, there's plenty of people out here that have lots of experience and will be able to guide you through that, because it's your biggest purchase. It's your biggest investment. So you want to make sure you've got someone that has your best interest at heart.
And you guys really, on that note, you should be interviewing your realtors. You should be talking to them and asking them, like, what do ask them their knowledge, ask them their background, things like that. Sometimes people, I feel like, will just, they'll say, oh yeah, anybody that has a real estate license will work. They don't really understand the value of what we can provide them. So talk to the people. I mean, if you're getting a recommendation, both Claudia and I have a referral-driven business, so those are strong recommendations that we get from past clients that can testify that we do a good job for them, and that's really a great thing. If you're getting a direct referral from somebody who's worked with someone before, that's always something that you can feel very confident in. But if you've never met this person, just because they have a sign outside in the yard doesn't mean that they're going to provide you the best service. So make sure you talk to your realtor and feel comfortable with them before you move forward. Selling or buying, either way, you want to make sure that you're in good hands, because we're different. All of us are different, and
We all are different. We all run our business differently too.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're saying. We're referral driven. So 99% of my business is referrals from my past clients or, coworkers of their coworkers and everything. So, it's good to have that, because at least they can get referred someone. And we have a big referral base too, if they need help with any updates or anything like that too. So.
Oh yeah, because customer service is so important for us. The people that we work with are they have standards. For the lenders I work with, I hold them to a standard, and if they're not meeting it, I'm not working with them anymore, because I want my clients to be in a very, I want to feel confident that they're in good hands.
And it's a team. It's a team. It's our whole team, whether it's, like you said, the lenders, the title companies, our inspectors, all of it. We have standards on what we expect our team to do.
Yeah, and to perform, because we do have the type of business that we have. It's not just a, one and done, and we'll never see you again. We are
Not the
definitely,
case.
yeah. I don't want you to call me in the next year and tell me how horrible all of everything is. I want you to be happy, and we're definitely in this relationship for the long run. So we definitely want to have a good team for you to work with. Thank you, Claudia, for being with us today, and thank you for coming on the show. If you guys are watching, please make sure to share this video, leave us a review, and download us on iTunes. You can listen to us in the car, and we are going to be seeing you next week, or you'll be listening to us next week if you're listening to us on iTunes. Have a wonderful day. This is Trish Williams with Realty Check with Trish.